Welcome to SF Commercial Property Conversations with Bruce Bean, where Bay Area investments meet expert insights. Get ready to unlock the strategies of commercial real estate success.
So today we have Miles Palacios on, and he is a real estate investor in the East Bay and has actually run a KGO real estate radio show in the past. So he loves to talk about real estate, and so I'm very happy to have you today, Miles. It'd be interesting to know kind of how you got into real estate and your background and so forth.
Sure. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. It's not often I get to actually tell my story. But I got into real estate just like everyone else. I kind of fell into it. I've always liked real estate since I was a kid, but I went to Cal. Going into Cal, you think you're gonna get some glamorous job, and in 2010, you realize you're in a Great Recession. There's no jobs. I got recruited to work at a bank, and I started to really like finances because numbers make sense to me. And then from that, I met some people in the industry. I got into mortgage, and that's how my career began. My investing in real estate really began out of fear. Most people look at stocks and bonds, putting away money into your 401k as a safe way to go. I'm like, I can't touch that. I can't feel that. I can't smell that. For me, real estate makes sense. You can see it. You can drive by it. You can. It's an asset. It's sitting there right in front of you. So for me, my route was, okay, well, how do I invest? Because that's what makes sense to me. That's what everybody strives to have more money later. How do I do that with something that makes sense to me? And for me, real estate investing was the only way to go. So at the beginning of my career, I was fearful that if I put money, especially after 2008, into something that I couldn't touch and feel, it seemed like a risk, and I didn't want to take that.
So you had a little money and you started investing in single family duplexes and so forth?
Well, did I have money? Does anyone really start with money?
That's a good conversation right there. How do you start into real estate without money?
Being in mortgages, which is the majority of my time spent in mortgages and commercial lending, you have to know how to get money. Unless you're buying in cash, which I didn't have the opportunity to do, you got to know guidelines and matrices and how to get away with things in a legitimate way. And for me, before it was popular on YouTube, the word house hack made sense. Let me buy a place, owner occupied, I'll move in, I'll rent a room or two, and then in a year or two, if I buy another one, I'll move out and keep it as a rental. So for me, having the ability to buy with 5% down on an owner occupied just made sense. And I put on some seminars and talked to people, and people are like, well, how do I afford this area, especially in the Bay Area? I'm like, well, you don't start in those nice areas. You end up there. You got to start a little further away, and then you work your way to your desired neighborhood, and that's kind of what I've done.
So you bought your own house first, and you rented out a room, and then you moved to another house?
So I actually bought a duplex.
All right, yeah.
Lived in one, rented out the other one, and then the next year I bought a single family.
Uh-huh.
Not a mistake, but definitely a lot less.
That's a wrap on today's journey through the SF commercial real estate scene. Ready to share your story? Visit sfcommercialconversations.com/guest. Your insights could lead the next conversation.